Hi, this is Kate from anybulldog.com. We have had our bulldog Daisy for about 3 weeks now, and ever since then I've been working really hard to keep my house smelling clean and fresh and not like a bulldog, because as much as I love Daisy, I just don't want my house to smell like a dog. And I've had friends ask me, well, why don't you leave Daisy outside, have her be an outside dog? Bulldogs cannot be outside in the cold or the hot because they are I'm gonna try and say this right, Brockie Cephalic. I think I got it. A Brockie Cephalic breed, which means they have it literally means they have a short head, and it looks like they got smashed in the face with a frying pan a little bit. Being a brachycephalic breed, they cannot control their body temperature very well through panting like most dogs do. Their anatomy just is not big enough for their respiratory system. They have been bred to look like this, and it's what makes them look so squishy and cute and lovable, but it also gives them some health problems and some breathing problems. While most dogs control their temperature through panting, bulldogs and other brachycephalic breeds just cannot do that the same way. There's a couple reasons for this. The first is they have an elongated soft palate. Now let me tell you what that means. So their soft palate is so long that it pushes back into their airway, making it a little more difficult to get air to their lungs. The second problem with brachycephalic breeds is that they often have another hard word to pronounce, Ticnares. I know I didn't say that right, so forgive me. But it just means that their nostrils have really small openings and they just can't breathe through their nose very easily. So, and that's only two of the reasons. The list goes on with all of the anatomical issues with brachycephalic breeds and their airways. So what that means for staying out in the cold is they just can't do it. They really just can't be out in the cold for very long, like 15 minutes tops, not below freezing. Here we live in Southwest Idaho, which is probably the warmest part of this state. It usually gets above freezing every day, and I'm lucky enough that I can be home with Daisy and my children, and we usually take her on a walk once it gets above freezing. And even then, if it's, low 40s, below that, we don't stay out for too long, especially if it's windy. The wind chill can make it so much colder here. And I've noticed as we've been walking Daisy on colder days that she will start panting more earlier on in our walks, and you can just tell that her breathing is just a little bit more laborious for her. And so we do shorter walks those days. So I'm going to take Daisy on a walk, and I will check with you halfway through our walk, and I'll show you her breathing. It is much different than her breathing on a warmer day. It's about 40 degrees outside right now, so let's get going. We are out about halfway through our walk. The forecast said it would be about 40 degrees, but there's definitely a wind chill. It's definitely a little bit colder. Let me show you. So Miss Daisy's not being very cooperative with me right now. Maybe she's just ready to go back home, but I can hear her breathing. She takes big, long when we're walking. She was panting pretty good, and I think she's pretty cold and ready to go back home. Anyways, we have this little fleece because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't get too horribly cold here, and we don't take super long walks. Can you say bye? I don't know if you can hear this, but Daisy is definitely breathing through her nose a little bit harder. What's that? As you can see, Daisy's breathing was a little bit harder. She usually gets some snot, her nose will start running, and you can see that she definitely has some really narrow nares, really narrow passageway for her to try and breathe. Even breathing through the mouth, because of their elongated soft palate, all the other issues inside of their respiratory system, they can't do it. They can't control their internal body temperature. They can even get hypothermia being outside for too long in the cold. So it's so important that we keep our bulldogs inside. Tips that I have: get your dog a coat. I know they look super cute in those clothes, so I like it. I think it's fun, and it keeps them warm. If you live in an area where it doesn't get above freezing for weeks at a time in the winter, then I would purchase a heated coat. You can even buy heated blankets for them and keep them warm inside on colder days. We just have a fleece for Daisy because it doesn't get too awfully cold here, and it seems to get the job done. So if you need any more tips on keeping your bulldog warm in the winter, visit us at anybulldog.com if you want to know any more about why bulldogs cannot control their internal temperature very well. You can visit our article there, Can Bulldogs Stay Outside in the Cold? Subscribe and like our video if you are interested in learning more about taking care of bulldogs. Thanks so much. See you next time.